For a split second, the Google bot shined that light on my arm, and then it didn't. It was just, I realized it just saw an anomaly, and it was just kind of looking, and it was nothing. So the Google bot 1 is my anti-gravity. I realized it has to be there no matter what, or else I'll get kicked off the station. So the orientation was basically over, and the American cosmonaut, the astronaut, comes over to me and says, "Want something to eat?" I said, "Oh, I'm starving." So we walk down these halls, and as I look at these lights, and these lights on every little section follow you, and I realize it's probably to save power, so it's low light everywhere, but it's brighter light where you're going. And then I realize these little blue kind of triangle lights on the ground, and it's pointing red at the top, and then it kind of morphs into kind of like a whitish light at the bottom. So I stop, and it stops, and then the guy goes, "What are you doing?" I go, what's it? And he says, "We're going in the mess, and you have to follow these lights." I said, "Oh." And I said, "How does it know that I'm going there?" He says, "Well, I asked you if you're hungry, and your bot 1, Google bot 1, knows you're hungry because you're talking about it, and it automatically it connects with the space station." Now I go, "Wow, that's basically what it is." And I said, "How long is it going to take there?" And then the Google bot 1 flashes a pulse of light towards my watch, so I look at my watch, and then on Google bot 1, all these lights shine on the bot, and it flashes in the sequence. So it says 1-1, and then it's dot 1-1, which is about 1 minute and 11 seconds. I said, "Cool." So the astronaut says, "So what do you think about all this?" And I said, "Well, it's incredible. I thought it was just this little space station up here, and people are floating around in it." And he says, "Oh no, this has been here for years." And he says, basically, they're not supposed to talk about anything up there, but a lot of people travel to the different stations, and I guess there's a station around." And I said, "Well, so they're stationed around the moon?" He says, "Well, we're that station around the moon. There's a station on the other side of the Earth. There's one around Mars. There's one around closer to the sun at Venus, and there's one on the way to Saturn that takes about 3 years. And there's about 1,000 people on that one, and they're kind of like on a vacation." And I said, "How is this possible?" He says, "You notice how all the rich people in the world, they're never around when you never can film them when you want to? Well, now you know why. But I'm not rich. I just got lucky, and I got up here." Now, so I go to sit down, eat my steak, because I just was thinking about my steak, and they said, "What would you want to eat?" And I said, "Well, I thought you guys knew everything." He said, "We can't read your thoughts. Is what you're talking about is what the bot picks up on." And they want a steak. So they brought me some ketchup, brought me a steak, and the steak was in a foil packet, and the water was in a foil packet. And I said, "We got gravity here. Why are we eating this astronaut type food?" And he says, well, we never got to that point yet, so you still got to squeeze it out. It's all blended in, and it's got some kind of hard substance in there. So you still have to chew, but the hard substance that's put in the packets is you still have to chew it, because you still have to have your muscles on your jaws and everything working, even though it's like a paste. And I said, "I'm starting not." So I looked down at the hair in my arm, and I realized it grew another millimeter. So now there's 4 to 5 little blocks inside this cylinder kind of hair, crystalline hair. And then the guy kind of looked at me, and he looked at my arm, and then didn't say nothing. He says, well, there's a lot of secrets up here, and they want to keep secrets. And I said, who wants to keep secrets? And he says, I don't know. People just want to keep secrets. So I slurp in my steak dinner, and then I realized that it wasn't too bad after all. It's just like stick it in a blender. So, now I'm walking freely around the station. I get up, walk freely around the station. Now I'm feeling a little not right. It's almost like a time sickness or something. And I remember her saying that I cannot stay in the timeline that long, that I have to go back, at least visit in the time present that I left all this in. Do you understand? So he says, we're going on a trip. We're going to the moon. So I said, well, how are we going to get to the moon? We can't land in this thing. And he says, well, we have little type shuttles, and we just fly there. You land, and then you just go walk around, but you cannot walk near the U.S. landing sites or anything. There's a big rope, velvet rope around all the U.S. landing sites, and then where Japanese land at their little rover on the other side, there's a velvet rope around that. It still works, though. They just decided that everything's been seen and it didn't matter. The rover just sits there and you're just not to go near it. So we come into the shuttle bay, and the shuttle bay is huge. And it's not like you think there'd be like a force field or something like that, so you'd see out the door. It's not like that. It's this cylinder-looking thing that's all automated. And he says, your globe will control it. So all you do is lie in it, and I lie in the other one. And I said, well, why isn't there one that they're all separate? And he says, no, each capsule is separate because it's all automated, and if one of us get hit by a mile-wide meteor, asteroid, then at least one guy survives. And I go, well, that's great to know, because I still see these things whizzing by. I see another one through the portal, and it's whizzing by. This one's about 2 miles wide. And I look at it, and then I notice little lights on it. And I said, hey, there's lights on that asteroid. And he says, oh, that's some people are living on that. I said, people are living on asteroids out here? Yeah, people like living there. They're farmers. Some of these asteroids have gold deposits. Some have trillions of dollars in platinum deposits. But there's an international treaty where they can have the wealth out here, but they can't have the wealth on Earth. So we have, and I said, what?